up, everybody? This is Robert Ferguson, your nutritionist, a guy who shares because he cares. And boy, do we have some good things I want to talk about today. Now, if you're in our gut health challenge, what I'm about to share, you've seen some of it because I touched on it, and it just eats up my soul. And I said, you know what? I don't want to just keep some of this information in the challenge. I want to share this information with everybody. I want everyone to know what I'm going to share, because there's a lot of misinformation that circulates around nutrition, around health, around how to lose weight. And when you watch a video that goes viral where a person says, don't eat oatmeal because it's bad for you. And when it goes viral, that means that it's so polarizing that a ton of people are sitting back thinking, I know exactly what they're referring to. I get this. When I ate oatmeal last time, it bothered me. And maybe it's one of those things where it's so polarized that you sit back and you go, you know, I knew that oatmeal wasn't good, but you haven't done anything to look into it. Now, before I dive in, I want to invite you to our gut health challenge. I also want to invite you to learn more about what we do. Our website is under construction. We have really big things happening. We have some big things happening with our coaches. If you're interested in ever becoming a coach and you want to help other people, right now we have a discount, so you can reach out to me directly. My email is robert@dietfreelife.com. And now is a good time. Okay. Other than that, let's take a look at this video. So the video got my attention because it was shared with me by someone who I respect. And they said, this video is going viral. So I'm going to play the video twice because I want you to really get it. And then we're going to dial into why he is saying that oatmeal is bad. And then I will bring clarity to it so that you know it. And then I'm going to bring in a doctor who's a gastroenterologist to share his insight on it. He does a really good job at explaining some of this misinformation. And then we'll close. And if you have any questions, bring it, because I would love to answer your questions pertaining to nutrition, fitness, health, weight loss, getting off meds, yada, yada. All right, and I hope you're enjoying this Fat Loss Friday if you're catching this live or on this fabulous Friday. All right, let's take a look.
Pisses me off is oatmeal, because oatmeal is peasant food. It's what they would feed the peasants just to keep them alive. But oatmeal sucks minerals out of your body because it's high in phytic acid, and it spikes your blood sugar more than ice cream. So I would rather give my kids my recipe for ice cream that's high in good protein, high in good fat, and high in even some sugar versus oatmeal. So it is not a superfood by any measure. It's just marketed as one because it costs 2 cents, and you'll pay $3 for it if it's marketed as cold overnight oats with fairy sprinkles. I have no idea. I don't eat that crap. Have I shown enough disrespect for oatmeal?
Yes, you have shown a lot of disrespect for oatmeal. Okay. One, I would like to challenge this gentleman on the glucose response between, ice cream and oatmeal. He says that oatmeal causes a bigger response. Okay. And let's say that for whatever reason, depending on the person who we're looking at, okay, he could be right. But it's not just about the glucose response. It's about the insulin response. And when a food is closer to nature, you're way more likely to have less insulin. So oatmeal would be closer to nature than something that is completely processed into what it is called ice cream. So I would be willing to bet major money that the ice cream causes a greater insulin secretion compared to the oatmeal. That's number one. So again, he's selling to what people know or what they're aware of, and then he's doing it in a way where if you don't know what I'm about to share with you, you would just assume, yeah, eating oatmeal is bad because he said it's high in phytic acid. Well, phytic acid, okay, and you also hear phytates, is part of all plant-based foods. and oatmeal does have a good amount of it. Now, what he didn't mention is that phytic acid breaks down when you cook it. It breaks down when you soak it overnight. It breaks down with sprouting and fermentation and pickling. It breaks it down. It's like when you make sourdough bread. Before you make the sourdough bread, it has a good amount of gluten. But when you take it through the process, it's reduced down big time. So quite a few people who have gluten sensitivity or concerns, they can eat sourdough, but they can't eat other bread that's not sourdough, because sourdough does have a reduced amount of gluten because of how it's cooked, right? And through that fermentation process. So phytic acid is one of those things that helps that plant live. So it's not about anti-nutrients. What happens is, if they don't give you all the information, then to me, that's a lie, because you're skirting around things and you're leaving people with a cliffhanger that make them want to learn more. And I get it. But phytic acid, if you eat a good amount of food and you have a balanced way of eating, and you're eating the way we teach people with the Diet Free Life methodology, as well as eating a variety of different foods throughout the day, then there's no major concern when it comes to phytic acid. And the reality that we do know that phytic acid can block the absorption of various minerals, and that wouldn't be a good thing. Now, knowing that, when you cook it, it cooks down. And there's a whole bunch more I could be sharing right now, but I want to bring in this doctor who's a gastroenterologist. He does a really good job of explaining what we're talking about when it comes to phytic acid. So without further delay, listen in. Check this out.
Yeah, so phytic acid classically found in seeds, nuts, legumes, and so phytic acid is like, the concern is that it could bind up minerals and make it so that you don't get access to those minerals. But yet, like people who consume diets that are high in phytic acid, do we discover that they have these nutritional deficiencies, that they are more prone to having some sort of mineral deficiency as a result of their phytic acid intake? The answer is no. I haven't seen any evidence that convinces me that that is in fact the case when you are eating a balanced diet. And the reason why is because those foods that, contain phytic acid, guess what? They also contain minerals, and many times more amounts of those minerals. And so as a result of that, the phytic acid and the minerals, they're just in balance. But it's also important for people to keep in mind that these plants are not just vehicles to deliver phytic acid. They contain a number of different things that are in there: fiber and phytochemicals and polyphenols. And these things all are mixed together and having a unique effect on our body. So looking at phytic acid in a test tube or in an animal model in isolation is not the same as me eating a handful of nuts. It's not even close. So we have to ultimately look at the data of what happens in humans when they consume foods that contain phytic acid. And what we see in humans when they consume foods that contain phytic acid is they tend to live longer with less disease. And when you dig into the details of what's going on there, what we think at this point is that phytic acid actually has a number of unique benefits. So it seems to be anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, so it reduces oxidative stress in the body. This appears to be the reason why phytic acid shouldn't necessarily be something that we're scared of. Now, that being said, there are strategies that you can use to reduce the phytic acid content in your food. One of them is to ferment it. So if you take flour and you ferment it and you create sourdough, it's substantially lower in both phytic acid and also gluten content. Another way is to soak. You can soak your legumes or soak your seeds and nuts. And by soaking them, you actually are removing the phytic acid in the process of doing that.
Now, I want you guys to get this, okay? I want to take a second here. Take a second. Notice what he said, right? And then go back to what the other gentleman said. So let's watch him again, okay?
pisses me off is oatmeal, because oatmeal is peasant food. It's what they would feed the peasants just to keep them alive. But oatmeal sucks minerals out of your body because it's high in phytic acid, and it spikes your blood sugar more than ice cream. So I would rather give my kids my recipe for ice cream that's high in good protein, high in good fat, and high in even some sugar versus oatmeal. So it is not a superfood by any measure. It's just marketed as one because it costs 2 cents, and you'll pay $3 for it if it's marketed as cold overnight oats with fairy sprinkles. I have no idea. I don't eat that crap. Have I shown enough disrespect for oatmeal?
Okay, so it would make you wonder, okay, so why is he so against oatmeal and he would actually recommend ice cream over oatmeal? Well, as the doc said, and I mentioned earlier, phytic acid is an antioxidant. Phytic acid helps with reducing inflammation. It's not just, and when they talk about phytic acid, they're talking about foods that are raw. Who eats raw beans? Who eats raw spaghetti noodles? No one walks around. I mean, have you ever tried to bite a bean that's raw? We cook the food. And when you cook the food, you reduce what he is demonizing. See, again, misinformation, and there's quite a few people who won't know what I just shared with you, and they will avoid eating oatmeal because it went viral, and it went viral because it's polarizing. And here's a guy who doesn't eat and promote fruits and vegetables and whole grains. He's a keto type of guy. And I get it, that's his spiel. But don't share information that's not complete. Okay? Don't share information that's not complete. All right, so I want to show you one more thing. Okay, read the question if you can catch it, okay, and then we'll conclude.
You have one meal that happens to be like excessively high in phytic acid, and let's pretend that hypothetically that one meal does actually deplete your body of some of these minerals. Let's pretend it does. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to eat another meal. And most likely, if you're eating a balanced diet, it's not going to continue to be some sort of arrangement, and this is like completely theoretical, but it's not going to continue to be some sort of arrangement that depletes your body of these minerals. So, again, what I come back to is, first of all, where is the evidence that people who eat a high phytic acid diet are actually nutritional deplete or are suffering from mineral deficiencies? I haven't seen that.
And guess what? I have not seen it either. So you guys do me a favor and share this video. I mean, it's so sad. It just blows my mind how a little bit of information gets out there. People will just take it and just assume. What we like to do is challenge everything. And if you were my client, I would say challenge me so that every week when I have a coach call with you, if you have questions, then it makes me better when I can provide you with answers that are evidence-based or part of our clinically proven system. That's it. So phytic acid, there is no concern with it, you guys. Absolutely none. This gentleman put out information that was minimal. He took a little bit of truth, demonized it, and made it to where people will avoid eating foods that actually will help you. I mean, hopefully you guys get this. And I believe you do. So I'm not being sarcastic. I know you get it. I'm Robert Ferguson. I share because I care. And enjoy this day. And if you're in California, we got a little sun today in some parts. And then over the next 3-4 days, it looks like we're about to go into some serious rain. I'm just sharing that part of my life. So I'm happy to see the sun. And you know what? I'm happy when it rains. And I also want to just share with you that I appreciate you taking the time to listen. I appreciate you telling people about our YouTube channel and helping to spread the word. We are on a mission, and in the coming months, I believe we're going to see dramatic reach improvement. And the main way to make that happen is if you even if you comment and say hi. And if you're not on our YouTube channel, I want to encourage you to go to our YouTube channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell. And even if you don't listen to everything, if you hit like, what it does is it tells YouTube that people are interested in what I'm sharing, and it makes it possible for more people to learn about what I'm sharing. Okay, I'm Robert Ferguson. I share because I care. Big shout out to Sandy. Hey, Wendy. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, and let's keep it moving. And for those of you who are in the challenge, tomorrow's another good one. Day 6. Day 6 is a good one. And one of my clients, Shirley, who's in the challenge, I want to give her a big shout out because she's like, Robert, I wasn't sure about doing the challenge, but then I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the challenge. And he was inspired by you, Linda. So if Linda hears this, she was inspired by you, Linda. Well, anyway, she called me today and she talked about how her fingers weren't as swollen. She feels that she's got major progress. She got a couple compliments about her face looking leaner. And she believes, and I do too, that her progress is all coming from her center, her gut. As she's focusing on her gut health, everything else will come into balance. That's the way it works. All right, you guys, if you have a question, reach out to us. Other than that, be well. Share the good news over the diet blues. As always, I'm out for now. Peace.